College Success. This is your week 11 assignment video. So very similar to most of the rest of your weeks so far. You have your discussion board that you need to post your original response in for weekly attendance. So make sure you do that by Wednesday and respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. You have your Chapter 9 assignment, the Civility Project, and a Chapter 9 quiz. So let's jump into these assignments. So for your Chapter 9 discussion that you're posting by Wednesday for attendance points, you are going to talk about, have you ever witnessed incivility in person or an argument in the news? And I talked a little bit about this in the chapter lecture video for this week. So there are a ton of examples of this in the news in particular. You can find YouTube clips or news articles or news clippings, anything like that, where incivility, so disrespect or a way that a situation is handled that is not showing kind of compassion or respect in a conversation, or there was an issue and it was handled maybe in not the right way. So lots of that in the news, but you can also use an in-person example. So either something that you were involved with or you just simply witnessed it. So briefly describe what happened, give some context for it. So maybe spend about half of your response space, if you will, on giving background on the situation so that myself and the rest of the class can understand the context, and then answer the second part. Why do you think individuals are willing to shut down communication over issues they are passionate about? So whenever there is a conversation regarding something that typically tends to get a lot of emotions going, a political, a religious, a moral, whatever issue it might be, why do you think some people shut down communication over those type of issues? So that is your prompt. So you want to make sure that you respond to that by Wednesday for week 11 attendance, and then respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. All right, so here is your Civility Project, and this is where this can almost align with your Chapter 9 original response, because you are, and this will open up into this PDF here. You can see in the directions it says choose at least 2 examples of media incivility. So issues in the media where an actor, an actress, a singer, an athlete, anything, a reporter covering a story where there is an issue where the person in question has behaved in a way that would be considered incivil. So here are the questions that your answer. So here is the media example. So right here, give it a title and then even get the link. So if it's a YouTube video or a newspaper link, you go ahead and put the link there so that I can follow it and just, check to see what it is you're talking about. And then what is being depicted? So like, what's the situation? Who is the intended audience of the clip or the coverage? What is the purpose of that example? Why do you think that's an example of incivility? What do you think motivated the creator? And what do you think is the result of the example? So for instance, so we're not going to use this one, but the Will Smith incident. So maybe you can choose a particular news outlet that covered that situation. And so you would just tell me about, the slap at the Oscars. Who is the audience? Well, it would probably be people who were interested in either the issue, the actors involved. What do you think the purpose of the example is? Depending on the news outlet, maybe it was just to inform you that it happened. Maybe it was a biased source trying to make you be on one side or another. Why do you think this is an issue of incivility? So you can talk about the incident itself, like how it was played out, the way that they tried to, Will Smith or the Academy or whoever could have handled it in a different way. Why was it incivil? What do you think motivated the creator? Now, again, the creator being maybe the news outlet that's covering the incident. And then what do you think is the result of the example? So how did it end up? I mean, obviously, this is a fairly recent example, so it might still kind of be going on here. And then you're going to do example number 2. So 2 examples total of incivility. And you could pull it from social media even. So if you have an example somewhere on your feed on one of your social media pages where there are people arguing back and forth and it's not going in a very respectful manner. I mean, there are literally thousands of examples of that, right? So just hop on to Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, anywhere really, where you can look and see comments and see, is there any examples of incivility going on there? You can just do a quick YouTube search to see what incivility issues are going on. So again, this is just different examples, make sure you title it and give me a link or give me a screenshot or attach a document with it, and then answer these analysis questions that go along with that topic. Okay, so that is due on Sunday. And then your Chapter 9 quiz, as always, it'll open up to a Word document. Just again, make sure that you are answering all parts of the question. This one is talking about rules to a guide, to come up with a classroom guide for discussions based on, the civility, respect, diversity, that kind of thing that this chapter talked about. Consider the 4 types of identity: personal, role, social, and collective. And then reflect on and write about a time when one of your identities was important. So maybe your personal identity or your social identity was important in a social interaction. What is the purpose of Title IX and why is it important in higher ed? What is the difference between equality and equity? I talked for a few minutes on this example in the lecture video for this chapter. And then this is like a little scenario. If one of your professors neglected to include perspectives of an underrepresented group, how could you support the inclusion of that group? So these questions, I think, are a little bit more straightforward than a lot of the other chapters. So make sure you respond to those questions and submit your Chapter 9 quiz by Sunday as well. So real quick recap, make sure you post your original response to the discussion forum by Wednesday for attendance, respond to 2 classmates by Sunday, and then Chapter 9 assignment, Chapter 9 quiz by Sunday as well. Have a great week.